to the war in Ukraine now. In the Netherlands and Denmark have both said today that they are sending F-16 fighter jets to Kyiv. It's the first time a Western country has offered fast jets to Ukraine after intense pressure from President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. Here to discuss this, military analyst Sean Bell, who's here with me now. Hello, Sean, to you. Now, you've flown one of these F-16s, but how strategic is the news for Ukraine?
It's really important for Ukraine. I mean, for over a year now, President Zelenskyy been appealing to the West to either put a no-fly zone in place or to provide them fast jets. And literally, they've waited for ages now. Earlier this week, the Americans said that as design authority, they were prepared to let the Dutch and the Danes have the permission to give their jets. And today, 42 jets. Not sure the Dutch have that many, but a combination of Dutch and Danish jets will make up those numbers. It's really positive news, President Zelenskyy, but behind the scenes, a slight note of caution. As you say, I flew one of these Dutch F-16s back in the 90s. Amazing platforms, but they weren't new then. And therefore, the military aircraft is all about radar, it's about weapons, it's about technology. And if they don't have modern technology, it won't be great. But positive story, these are better than the legacy aircraft they've been flying, but don't expect to see them in the war until the start of next year.
OK. Yesterday, we were talking about a Russian attack. It killed 7 people in Chernihiv in Ukraine. You've got new information about that strike.
Yeah, we talked a lot about this yesterday because it was a massive attack on the Shevchenko theatre. 7 people died, less than 150 people have injured, 15 kids and 15 police officers. President Zelenskyy described a brutal attack and started to talk about war crimes. But actually, it now appears that the theatre there was actually playing host to a drone exposition, and therefore there were drone manufacturers from across Ukraine and potentially wider showcasing their wares actually in the theatre themselves. Now, despite a lot of security around the running of that, it appears that wasn't effective, and it looks very likely now that Russia specifically targeted because of that drone expo. OK. The other significant development is a possible Ukrainian attack on a Russian military airfield. How much do we know about that? The MOD reports earlier on today said there was interesting that the Russians were getting increasingly concerned about attacks across their airspace, whether it's Moscow, whether it's elsewhere. But it's not helped because the chief of the Russian Air Force, who's responsible for airspace, is General Surovikin, who's been locked away, if you remember, so his deputy is stepping up. Now, Moscow is a high-profile target, which we've seen attacked, but yesterday reports that a Russian airfield, Salzby, up in Novgorod, was attacked. Now, the Russians claim no damage done, but we've got new reports in now that suggest 2 of their aircraft were damaged, 2 of these backfire aircraft, which might look pretty ancient. They're our 70s technology, but these would have been used to bomb Ukrainian territory. And as a result, it's a big win for Ukraine if they've managed to strike any of these. And also, it appears that Russians have had to redeploy the aircraft that weren't damaged even further away. It's going to be a tough time for General Surovikin's deputy to be taking over the role at this stage. OK. Sean, thank you so much for that.